Hey, welcome back, all of you. Today I have brought the question bank of the play If I Were You by Douglas James. So let's get started because your exams are nearing, and here are the important questions. First, we'll be discussing the extracts. So, the first extract: I'm glad you are pleased to see me. I don't think you'll be pleased for long. Put those paws up. So, the questions for this extract is: who is the speaker of these lines? Who is pleased to see the speaker? Is he really pleased? Why does the speaker say that he won't be pleased for long? And what does pause refer to? So you can first attempt these questions and after that you can look for the answers. After a while, I'll be showing the answers. So you can pause on this slide here, answer the questions, and then look at the answers. So these are the answers. So first, the intruder is the speaker of these lines. Gerard is pleased to see the intruder. No, he is not at all pleased. So the question is he really pleased? So he's actually not pleased. He pretends to be pleasant and he keeps his cool to deal with the intruder. Now, next question. The intruder warns him that though he may seem pleased, but he won't remain pleased for long if he comes to know about his real intentions. So the intruder here warns that I'm happy that you are pleased, but you won't be pleased for long. So intruder उसको धमकी देता है कि तुम खुश तो लग रहे हो पर ज़्यादा देर ये खुशी रहने वाली नहीं है. So now pause. The word pause here refers to hands. So this is the first extract. Now we move on to the next one. So you'll soon stop being smart. I'll make you crawl. Who is the speaker? Why does he say so? What is the real purpose of the speaker? And what, according to the speaker, will stop Gerard from being smart? What does the speaker mean by I'll make you crawl? So, 5 questions here. Answer these and then look at these answers. So, the speaker obviously is the intruder, and he says so because Gerard does not show any sign of fear, anxiety, or nervousness in front of the intruder who is pointing a gun at him. So, when the intruder he comes in and points gun at Gerard, so Gerard को बिल्कुल भी डर नहीं लगता. उसके फेस पे कोई पसीना, कोई पैनिक, कोई नर्वसनेस नजर नहीं आता. So that is why intruder tells him that you are trying to be smart, but I'll make you crawl. So the speaker's intentions here, they are not good. He wants to kill Gerard and take his identity. The speaker feels that once Gerard would come to know about his real purpose of killing him, he would forget all about making witty remarks. So when the question is that what, according to the speaker, will stop Gerard from being smart? So he says that when he'll come to know about the real purpose, then he will stop making those witty remarks. Now next is, what does the speaker mean by I'll make you crawl? So the speaker means that once Gerard comes to know about his true intentions, he would fall on his knees and beg for mercy. So the intruder, he feels कि जब जेरार्ड को पता लगेगा कि वो उसे मारने आया और उसकी आइडेंटिटी लेने आया है, सो इंट्रूडर जो जेरार्ड है वो डर जाएगा और वो अपनी जान के लिए भीख मांगेगा. Now comes the next extract. So at last, sympathetic audience, I'll tell you the story of my life. So who says this and why does he say this? Is he being sarcastic or serious here? So let's see the answers. So obviously Gerard is the speaker of these lines. The intruder has asked Gerard to give some information about himself. So next question is, Gerard says so to give an impression to the intruder that he would be very happy to have someone to talk to about himself. Actually, he wants to pretend that he is not at all intimidated by the presence of the intruder. And yes, he is being sarcastic. Now here, the question numbers, they are different. So why does he say it? B and C is the answer to that. So intruder actually has asked Gerard to give some information about himself. So Gerard says so to give an impression that to the intruder that he would be very happy to give him all the answers and talk about himself, but actually he wants to pretend that he is not at all afraid by the presence of the intruder, afraid or intimidated, you can write anything. And of course, he's being sarcastic. Now we have fourth extract. That's a lie. You are not dealing with a fool. I'm as smart as you and smarter. And I know you run a car. Better be careful, wise guy. So who is the speaker? And why does the speaker call himself smarter? And why does he call the listener wise guy? Now let's see the answers. The intruder is the speaker. And next question is, why does the speaker call himself smarter? Now Gerard, he tells a lie to the intruder that he doesn't have any car, believing that the intruder doesn't know about it. But the intruder has already collected much information about Gerard beforehand. So therefore he calls himself smarter. So जब Gerard उसको झूठ बोलता है कि मेरे पास कोई कार नहीं है, तो इंट्रूडर जिसे कि पहले से ही पता है कि उसके पास कार है, तो वो कहता है कि तुम स्मार्ट बनने की कोशिश मत करो, तुम्हें क्या लगता है that I am a fool but I am smarter. Then why does he call the listener wise guy? Since Gerard tries to play a smart trick with the intruder by telling him a lie, so intruder sarcastically calls him wise guy. तो वो उसे कहता है कि झूठ बोल रहे हो मेरे साथ, intelligent बनते हो. So like this sarcastically he calls him a wise guy. Now next extract. I could tell you plenty. You think you are smart, but I am the top of the class round here. I've got brains and I use them. That's how I've got where I have. So the questions are, what could the speaker tell the listener? So he says, I could tell you plenty. So what is that? Then why does he say he is top of the class round there? What class is the speaker referring to? Then what does the speaker use his brain for? And where has the speaker reached? So these 5 answers, they are on the next slide. Let's see them. So the intruder, he could tell Gerard a lot about his crimes. So since intruder, he's a criminal, so he can give whole lot of information about his crime to Gerard. Now intruder says so because he thinks there is no match to his ability as a criminal. He has committed many crimes but never has been caught. So this shows his overconfidence, arrogance and pride. Next is that the intruder is referring to those who think they are smart. So according to him, no one can match his smartness. So when intruder says that I am top of the class, so what class? The class is of all the smart people. So all the people who call them smart. So he says of all those smart people, I am at the top. So he says that there's no match to his smartness. Next is he uses his brain for scheming, planning and committing crimes and then dodging police. And last answer is, according to the speaker, it is because of his perfect planning that he has reached a point where he is just a step away to dodge the police forever by assuming Gerard's identity by killing him. So when the intruder says that because I use my brain, so that is why I have reached this place where I am now. So which place actually he has reached? So he has actually planned this whole thing and now he has reached a point where वो सिर्फ एक कदम दूर है to dodge the police forever. तो जिराट को मारते ही वो जिराट की आइडेंटिटी ले लेगा. So just it is one step away. So that is why he says that I am smarter. Now we come to next extract. Why add murder to your other crimes? It's a grave step you are taking. So what other crimes is the speaker referring to? What grave step is the intruder going to take and why it is a grave step according to the speaker? Now here, who is the speaker or to whom is he talking to? I have not added that question because these questions you should know for every line. So these are the answers. The speaker is referring to the intruder's crimes related to Youll robbery. So at this point, Gerard does not know that he has already murdered someone. So now when he says that I am going to kill you, Gerard says that why are you adding murder to your other crimes which are not as big as a murder? So he says that it's a grave step. So the speaker is referring to the intruder's crime related to Youll robbery. But now intruder is going to kill Gerard to take his identity. So what grave step intruder is going to take? He is going to kill Gerard. And why it is a grave step according to the speaker? Now murdering someone is obviously a grave step according to the speaker. He means that by adding a murder to his list of robberies, he would surely be hacked. So till this time, Gerard doesn't know that he had already murdered someone. So therefore, Gerard is telling him that by murdering me, you will be adding a grave crime to your list of robberies because he feels that he is a jewel robber and till date he had done only robberies. Now we move on to the next one. This is your big surprise. I said you wouldn't kill me and I was right. Why do you think I'm here today and gone tomorrow? Never treats people. So, what is the big surprise given by the speaker? What is the speaker right about? And do you think the listener believed the speaker? Now, let's see the answers. So, speaker is Gerard. So, he surprises the intruder by revealing the truth about his mysterious activities. So, the big surprise that Gerard gives is that he reveals the truth about his mysterious activities. He tells him that he too is wanted by the police. So, killing him would only add to his list of crimes and not save him in any way. So, what is the speaker right about? So, when the speaker says that I was right, so what he was right about? So, the speaker is right about the fact that the intruder wouldn't kill him as he too is involved in crime and is always on the run. So, killing him would not serve his person. So, he says that when intruder would come to know that he is also a criminal, so intruder would not kill him because killing him is not going to help the intruder after that because he would be caught anyway. Then, do you think the listener believed? So, yes, to some extent, the intruder here has started believing him. So, he begins to believe what Gerard explains to him. Now, if you read the chapter carefully, this statement, this is your big surprise, it comes twice. So at one time, intruder speaks the statement, and at the other point, Gerard speaks it. So if this statement comes in the exam, you have to first identify that who is the speaker here. Now, suppose with this line, this is your big surprise. There's such a sentence. So obviously, from this sentence, you'll come to know that here Gerard is the speaker. But in case only this sentence is written like this, so this is your big surprise. And then there are questions, then what you should do. So I think that you can then write according to the questions that are given. Suppose from the questions you can judge that whether they're talking about the intruder or Gerard, then you can differentiate and write according to it, or you can write about both. So to be on the safer side, you can write about both. It's extract just one line answers. It's not going to take much time. So in the beginning of the play, Intruder also speaks this, and Intruder says this when he announces that he is going to kill Gerard. So when Gerard tells the intruder that he won't find many jewels in Essex, he answers that similarly he won't find many cops. So to Gerard's inquiry that what he is doing there, so he says that he has a specialty in jewel robbery. So Gerard feels that he has come to Essex to rob jewels. So Gerard tells him that he won't find many jewels there. But the intruder answers that similarly, he is not going to find many cops there. So he says that he is going to stay in Gerard's cottage for a while. So now when Gerard expresses his displeasure at this, he reveals his big surprise. So at this point, the intruder reveals his big surprise. That is, he announces that he is going to kill Gerard and therefore he doesn't have to take any permission from him. So this is the answer when the intruder says this line. This is your big surprise. So accordingly, you have to answer this. Now we move on to the next, eighth one. Tonight, I'm expecting trouble. Who is I in the above line? What trouble is he talking about? And why is the speaker in trouble? So let's see the answers. Now, Gerard is I in the above line. Now, when in exams you are writing this, just don't write here Gerard. You have to write the full sentence. Gerard is I in the above line. Then he has received the information that police can reach there at any moment to arrest him. So according to Gerard, things went wrong with him when he shot at someone. After that, one of his men was caught along with some evidence against him. So since then, he has been on the run. So that is why he is in trouble. Ninth one, for God's sake, clear that muddled head of yours and let's go. So who's the speaker? Where is the speaker asking the listener to go? Why does the speaker ask the listener to clear his muddled head? And what is the meaning of muddled here? So Gerard is the speaker and Gerard is asking the listener here is Intruder, to come with him to escape from police. Now, after listening to Gerard, the intruder seems to be confused. So, C question is that why does the speaker ask him to clear his muddled head? Because after listening to Gerard's story, so he seems to be confused. So, he is perplexed whether to believe Gerard or not. So, therefore, Gerard asks him to clear all doubts and come with him. So, muddled means confused. The last extract now. How do I know that you are telling the truth? So, who is I? And what truth is the speaker talking about? And what does the listener do after that? So, intruder is the speaker here. And when Gerard tells the intruder to escape from the door, which Gerard says opens into the garage, the intruder becomes suspicious about it. So, he doubts the truth about the escape route. So, what truth he is talking about? Because he is doubting the truth that Gerard has told him that that is actually an exit route. So the listener, that is Gerard here, he gets aside and asks the intruder to look for himself. So when the intruder leans forward to inspect, he is pushed inside the cupboard. So the door, actually it was the door of a cupboard, by Gerard and locked. So what does the listener do after that? So this is what the listener does after that. Now we come to the questions, brief questions. This is question number 11. So, what was Gerard's reaction when he saw a stranger with a gun pointing at him in his cottage? So, we have to write about his reaction. So, when Gerard turned at the noise, he saw a stranger with a gun pointing at him in front of him. So, he did not panic or show any sign of anxiety. He kept his calm and rather pleasantly welcomed him. Question number 12. So the intruder did not kill Gerard immediately. Why? So intruder had actually entered the cottage with a gun in his hand, but the intruder did not immediately kill Gerard. Why? This is the reason. So the intruder did not kill Gerard immediately because he wanted to extract detailed information about him from him only. So since he had planned to take Gerard's identity, he had to know about his habits, style, way of talking, etc. to be successful in his plan. So therefore, he did not kill him immediately. Question number 13. So why did the intruder pick Gerard as his target? Now this is again a question that why only Gerard was picked. So this is the answer. So Gerard, first thing, he lived alone in a cottage at a secluded place in the wilds of Essex. So very few people visited him. This is the second. So it was very easy for anyone to commit crime there without getting noticed. Then Gerard had a similar build like Intruder. Also, when following Gerard, the Intruder found some hint of mystery surrounding him. So Gerard, he was not very social. He placed his orders most of the time on the phone, and sometimes he went away suddenly and then remained just the same. So therefore, he felt that Gerard would be a perfect target for his plan. So, like this intruder, he found that this person, Gerard, would be perfect for taking the identity. Now we move on to the next one. 14th. So the intruder calls himself a poor hunted rat. So why does he do so? So why does the intruder calls himself a poor hunted rat? So this is the answer. So the intruder has killed a cop during one of his criminal activities. Since then, the police they have been looking for him. He has been hiding and running from the police to escape being caught. So therefore, he feels like a poor hunted rat chased by the police. So therefore, he calls himself a poor hunted rat because all the time he was on the run. 15th question. Gerard describes this encounter with the intruder as an amusing spot of bother. So, what light does this attitude reflect on Gerard? And the whole encounter with the intruder seems to be melodramatic. So, Gerard को ये सारा का सारा जो incident हुआ ये एक drama, एक melodrama लगता है. So, any other person would have given in to the intruder who has come there to kill him and take on his identity. तो अगर जेराड की जगह पे कोई भी और होता तो वो डर जाता इंट्रूडर को देख के. But Gerard, he keeps his cool and handles the situation tactfully without much effort. Because of his wit and presence of mind, he outwits the intruder. Thus, he finds the incident as an amusing spot of bother which he intends to use in his next venture. So because Gerard बड़े आराम से बिना कोई ज़्यादा कष्ट किए सिचुएशन में से बाहर आ जाता है तो उसे ये सिचुएशन बहुत ही नाटकीय लगती है. Melodramatic here means नाटकीय. So because he is a director, maybe a writer also, so that is why उसे ये situation बहुत नाटकीय लगती है and he decides to use it in his next play or whatever his next venture would be. So therefore he calls it an amusing spot of bother. Now why was Gerard's schedule so irregular? Gerard was a writer and director of plays. He even supplied props to the theatre companies. Thus, for writing a gripping story or for concentration, he didn't come out of his cottage for many days. Sometimes he would go but then return as immediately as he had gone. Therefore, his schedule was irregular as it had to suit the requirements at the theatres. So, he needed an isolated spot where he could sit alone in solitude and write plots for his stories, for plays, for whatever. So, therefore, most of the time he was placing orders on phone so that he didn't have to go out. So, therefore, his schedule was irregular. Then, what did Gerard ensure before calling the police? So, these are the things that he ensured. First, he befooled the intruder and locked him inside the cupboard. And while pushing him inside the cupboard, he knocked the revolver out of his hand. So now, taking the gun, then he went to the ringing phone to answer it. During this time, he was facing the cupboard with the gun pointing at the cupboard door in case the intruder broke open the cupboard. So then he asked the person on the phone to send for the police to arrest the intruder. So this is what he did. So these things, these were the precautions that he took before calling the police. Question number 18. So how did Gerard lock the intruder in the cupboard? So what did he do? So Gerard first concocted a story about his criminal activities. He told the intruder that he himself was a wanted criminal and was expecting trouble that night. So he showed him his packed bags, his disguise items to dodge the police. So first he convinced the intruder that he too was a criminal like him. Then he asked the intruder to come with him as it was not going to help him in any way if he killed him. So he showed him a door stating that it was the secret exit door that opened into the garage. Hesitantly, the intruder he leaned to inspect the truth in Gerard's claim, but was pushed inside the door that was actually a cupboard. So like this, Gerard was successful in locking the intruder in the cupboard. So you should learn actually this answer because this question is important. Question number 19 now. How did Gerard fool the intruder with his false story? So it is almost the same answer, but you will write it in a little different way. So this question is how did he fool the intruder? So he concocted a story about his criminal activities. He told the intruder that he himself was a wanted criminal and was expecting trouble that night. So what had happened with him? That will come in this sentence. So things went wrong with him during his recent illegal activity and he shot at someone to escape. Also, one of his men was caught with certain things he should have burnt. Therefore, he had packed his bag and arranged from some disguised outfit to escape from there when alerted by one of his accomplices who had been posted on the main road to keep an eye on the police. So, this is his story. What false story he had told the intruder to convince him. Now, what is the plan of Gerard? So, when he was narrating this story, was there a plan in his mind, or he was just acting according to the situation? Or what did Gerard want to do by telling the intruder a false story? So, Gerard's plan actually was to distract the intruder in some way and find a chance to escape from there or to do something to prevent him from killing. So, he did not have any perfect plan actually. So, he was acting according to the moment. So, he could either run away if he got a chance, or he could even overpower him, or he could prevent him from killing. So, he had to do any one thing out of these. So, what he did actually, he actually outwitted the intruder and overpowered him and locked him in the cupboard. So, locking him inside the cupboard, it's actually overpowering him only. Now, the last question, why does the intruder intend to kill Gerard, or why does the intruder break into Gerard's house? So the intruder is a hardened criminal who has murdered a cop. He is thus being chased by the police. So while on the run, he happens to see Gerard. He finds him to be a mysterious man. Also, Gerard is similar in build to the intruder. So looking at Gerard, the intruder hatches a plan to kill him and take his identity. He plans to escape being caught for murder and other crimes by becoming Gerard and taking his place. So this is Intruder's plan. So why does he break into Gerard's house? So these are the reasons why he broke into Gerard's house. Now we have the character sketch. So character sketch of Gerard. So Gerard is calm, composed, and quick-wit. So these are the prominent traits that Gerard, the protagonist of the play If I Were You, written by Douglas James, epitomizes. So I have taken these three prominent traits that is possessed by Gerard as my opening sentence. And here I have changed the color, but you can underline it in your paper. Then we come to his physical appearance. So he is a cultured man of medium height who writes, directs, acts, and provides props for plays. So I have talked about his profession also here. Then again, he is elegantly dressed in a lounge suit and a greatcoat and wears horn-rimmed glasses. So his appearance, his physical appearance, then his dress and his profession, I have already discussed this. And in the first line, I have discussed his prominent traits. Then the sudden entry of the intruder into his cottage doesn't panic him. So more traits where now I am showing that how confident Gerard is. So he rather keeps his calm and takes a note of the situation. So he is very alert. Takes a note of the situation is that he is alert. His friendly tone and eagerness to cooperate with the intruder ruffles the intruder. So these two qualities actually makes the intruder nervous because intruder feels that he's not at all afraid of me. Then when he comes to know about the real intention of the intruder, he does not act impulsively. So even when he comes to know that the intruder has actually come there to kill him, even then he keeps his calm. He does not act impulsively. He doesn't become nervous. But with his presence of mind turns the tables on him only. So on him means on the intruder only. So his sarcastic remarks in the play amuse the reader but agitate the intruder. So sarcastic remarks. Now where in the acronym, the stream acronym, you have S. From S it is says. What does the character say? So there in the play we have is sarcastic remarks. And what those sarcastic remarks actually do? They amuse the reader but they agitate the intruder. The intruder doesn't like those remarks. Then his intelligence is no match with that of the intruder, who is overconfident and feels he is the only one with brains. So in the end, Gerard, with a successful plan, is able to trap the intruder who intends to take his place by killing him. So he is a likable character with jolly nature as he turns this incident as an amusing spot of bother which he plans to use in his next play. So in the end we have to give your opinion. So my opinion is that he is a likable character, has a jolly nature as he turns this incident as an amusing spot of bother. So amusing spot of bother is again what the character has actually said in the play. And he plans to use this in the next play. So this is the character sketch of Gerard. I have used all the points of the acronym stream. So if you don't know about this acronym, then you can go back previous videos and watch the video on how to write a character sketch. Link it is given in the description box. So that's all for now. Hope this is going to be helpful for you and all the best for your exams.